Hello and welcome to the Lloyd Dowson 2020 budget video. So we've just seen the first budget, which had the potential to do an awful lot of things with everything that's going on in the world, and I think our take on this, which you're about to find out, is that actually he did some good things but perhaps not as much as we were expecting. We obviously had a curveball in there with one of the things that he had to try and raise some finances on the coronavirus, Josh, which he's thrown a few one-offs in there as well, which you picked up on.
Yeah, he has. There's statutory sick pay, which is agreed to subsidise for all businesses for 14 days, and obviously that's the cool-off period people need off work at the minute, so that makes a bit of sense, I suppose. And he's also sort of set up a time to pay helpline, additional resources at that, because he appreciates that if people are out of work, they maybe can't agree to make tax payments that they previously already agreed to, really.
Yeah, this is for tax liabilities, but as you and I know, being in tax, that there's been a time to pay line for quite some time,
Yeah.
and I think they employ the most unhelpful people ever. So we'll see how good that is going forward.
Yeah, they're certainly not a given.
No, absolutely. But so there's a few other things that were driven by the coronavirus thing, and he rightly had to address that. But of course, we were waiting for the normal budget, which first time that we'd had a full Tory budget, first time we'd had the new Chancellor, first time for everything that we expected a bit of shake-up, but a few surprises in there, not specifically income tax, etc. related, but business tax, business rates related, David.
There was, Phil, and that was one we were expecting, I think, really, and he's been promising it on the TV night after night, and it's been very generous, in my opinion. It's going to take a lot of our clients, our medium-sized clients, out of rates. How he's going to make it up elsewhere in the budget, I don't really know, but it would be welcomed by lots of our medium-sized clients. You know, we're quite a big business, and that's going to take us out of rates, which is very, very generous. Yeah. Special ones for the pubs and the smallest of rateable people are going to get £3,000 cash back, which is fantastic. Some really good things. Bit disappointed with the budget. It was blaming Corona for everything, which is a typical politician who gets hold of something and blames it all the way through. They've obviously been briefed by Boris with the buzzwords from the Conservative parties, get it done. Yeah. And I think they have in certain areas, but it could have been different. A typical budget. One hand tied behind his back a little bit because we are still negotiating to come out of Europe. Yeah. And I think maybe the November one, if they've got most of the European negotiations done, could be different again.
Absolutely. But I know it's something you've championed well on the business rates things around
Fantastic.
Here, so it's making sure everyone claims what they're entitled to.
It is.
And it's a one-off hit. This
one-off for the 1 year, but it'll be well appreciated by the small to medium-sized businesses. Whether it's going to dramatically affect the closing of our high streets and everybody going on to internet shopping, I don't really know. I seem to think that they're trying to stop the tide coming in, aren't they? And it's changing times for retailers, small, medium-sized retailers. Are really disappointed they didn't touch VAT. We all know one of the main problems with VAT is the get-in threshold is fixed at 85,000, and anybody who's around either side of that figure have to turn over a lot more than 85,000 to get back to where they were before. And somewhere along the line, a Chancellor's going to get hold of that and put it right, in my opinion. He had a chance to do it, but overall, pretty good. Yeah,
it was conspicuous in his absence with a few taxes, really. He's got one up his sleeve for November. We'll see what happens there. But things that he did do, Josh, on a more positive spin, will affect some of the employers that we deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, employers and employees, really. He's trying to put more money in everyone's pocket, so the national insurance thresholds have all increased, which means that for employers and employees, an extra £100 a year saving. Even for the self-employed, they should save about £80 a year. So sort of a little winner all around, really.
Yeah.
And then moving on to that, he's also then looked at the employment allowance, which is increased from 3,000 to 4,000. So again, another saving for employers of just under £140, which it's just a little bonuses that he's trying to offer to keep everyone going, really.
And obviously we claim that for our clients, so Will in our payroll team will do that as a matter of course, but a nice throwback. The other thing that he did mention tax-wise, and quite a big change in numbers terms, was on entrepreneurs relief, David, where the lifetime limit of gain from 10 million to 1 can make a significant hit to folk. And I think there was lots of speculation that this thing might have been scrapped in total. That wasn't our take around here. It would have been too wholesale a change, but still a big change for those that are affected by it.
Quite dramatic and quite far-reaching, really. £10 million quite a generous level. Most people who sell out their family businesses or come to retirement with the £10 million limit, they were all underneath that, but to take it down to 1 I thought was a little bit vicious. It will affect several clients that I'm helping get retired out of business at the moment, and we'll see what the knock-on effect has. That a bit drastic in my opinion.
And in fact, that's the only thing that actually came in today as well. So, even a further step to make it more dramatic. No time to plan.
No.
So it is what it is with that one. But again, other clients that are affected by things on a more mainstream thing is, of course, the good news for the clients, the farmers and the fishermen that we deal with.
I think it was a bit of a frenzy that was whipped up by the press. It was, you never really heard it talked about with politicians, but the press were predicting that farmers and fishermen, which, as you know, we look after lots of them, and they were frightened to death that that was going to get taken away. And it's a big difference for people who know or don't know between ordinary diesel taxes and surcharges and red diesel. So good on them for that, really. And, we're talking about fishermen. I want everybody to be aware of the Bridlington is going to be the lobster capital of Europe. We've been across to Canada and done some fairly big research. Any minute now, with the Lobster Festival coming during the season at Bridlington to combine lobsters with tourism. We've seen how they do it in Canada, in Nova Scotia. We went across there in the depth of winter, and we think we can put a plan together that will really, really revolutionise the connection between shellfish and tourism.
Yeah, I've seen the plans. It's exciting times.
It is exciting,
It's exciting times. But so again, that's great. And again, the farmers and the fishermen have got uncertain times with what might happen in the actual Brexit negotiations. So it's good that he's recognised that they're not to be affected by that kind of thing. Good news for our clients. Other bits, of course, that he's thrown in there: changes to pensions. Not perhaps the changes we were expecting, but for high earners, he's actually increased the limit that you start to lose the ability to put into your pension. So a good news, but possibly only for the few. But again, for those affected, it is good news. You saw a couple of other things in there as well, Josh, didn't you?
Yeah, again, one literally for the few. Really, it's for any veterans coming out of service for their first year, working outside of that. Then it's a national insurance free for their employer. Yeah. Again, just to encourage people to take a chance on them and take them back on board, really.
Yeah, he's tried to encompass everything, hasn't he, really?
Yeah.
But and then there was the usual bits that everybody likes in there, David.
Well, there's not much to talk about. They've left the cigarettes and booze and fuel as it is. It's one that appears in every budget. They could have put a copper or two on that and nobody would have even batted an eyelid, because it's in every budget they ever dream of.
He almost gets a cheer by not doing something, doesn't he, really?
Yeah.
But there we go. Other thing in there was more investments to be made into research and development, which just says to me that they expect this to be around for a little while longer. And again, we do quite a lot of that in the office, and for those who qualify, it's a very generous scheme.
It is, and it's surprising how many other firms we've come across who just don't take advantage of it, and it's got even better today. So
yeah, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you at the end of the day? And there are opportunities to get some fairly good subsidies now, and from tomorrow onwards, or 5th of April onwards, there's even better ones.
Absolutely.
Well done, Mr. Chancellor.
So I think the summary was that it was a very positive budget from the new Chancellor. He tried to keep everybody happy in my mind, and he was keen, as you said, David, to get it done, as he said many a time. So the details will be filtered through, as we sit here, and we'll get some more details on everything that's happened. But like always, if any of you have any questions about what's happened in today's budget or want to pick up on any of the issues that we've raised, please feel free to give us a call on the number at the bottom of the screen. Thanks very much.